Beat it up.
That's when I knew I couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't let Method Man down.
You couldn't keep it up. You couldn't keep up the facade up.
Look,
The intensity of that was too intense.
I had a similar experience when I met Redman. Like, we was in the studio working on that Point shit. It was the first time me and Strang ever went to California.
Oh yeah,
everybody left, and I stayed behind with Buckshot because he had to do that song. Yeah. And I'm walking through the hallways, and Redman come walking through the hallway. He like, oh shit. He like, one time for the snitch dropping down. One time for. He like, that's you, right? I'm like, yeah. Like, on the outside, I was cool as fuck, but on the inside, I fainted. Twice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Rock, the major difference is you about it. You deserved every accolade he was about to throw on you. Method Man, he should throw my verse. He shouldn't even said it, but you guys, you did deserve it, man. You guys were fucking, for the lack of a better word, savages on that mic.
Well, hold on.
Yeah, I survived it.
That was a dope verse. You deserved it too, man.
Yeah, it was a dope verse. But you touched on something earlier that I want to get into. When you guys went and worked with Pop on the One Nation album, do you have any new? I've heard that album is about to resurface. You know what I mean? I've heard some rumblings and murmurings about that. Have you heard any of that? You have any info on that?
I really don't. I mean, I speak to Noble sometimes. I speak to, some of the guys hit me up, the Outlaws, but I have not heard that. Like a lot of the verses were we were stripped off. Like our verses were stripped off, and they put different verses on, and then it was like on the Better Days album from Pop. Like
right.
They, when they re-released music from Pop, a lot of them were we recognize Pac's verses as some of the verses from the One Nation album, but
right.
our shit were, like our guys were off of it. But no one reached out to me about it, but if it were to ever happen, that would be, incredible.
I got a little bit.
It is.
I got a little bit of inside information.
All right, so you could put me on off this.
Yeah.
This we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I think I think it really, like, I think there's a little information. If you go to Young Noble or EDI page, you'll see some, scroll down a few days or whatever, a week or so, you'll see some, some info on it and all of that. And that's going to be dope. It is going to be dope. If, if it all comes to fruition, it's going to be dope.
This is what I want to ask you, Drew, huh? Right, y'all Nervous Records, right? You got Black Moon signed to Nervous Records. Then you get Smith & Wesson signed to Nervous Records, right?
Did you get Black Moon signed to Nervous, or did you meet Black Moon at Nervous?
Right. You was working at Nervous Records.
So Black Moon signed a single deal at Nervous. I became an intern at Nervous. They put out a song called "Fuck It Up." Do either one of you know that song?
No, I don't.
That's crazy. So that's the first Black Moon single. It's called "Fuck It Up." We're gonna fuck it up. We're gonna fuck it up. Strang, you gotta go Google it after. I don't even know if you could buy that. I don't even know where that record is. But it was out.
Oh my
it wasn't
God.
Buck had, a lot of energy. It was a lot of that rah, but like that was the core. You're gonna fuck it up, we're gonna fuck it up. So they're signed to a single deal because that's how the dude at Nervous was like, not albums at that point. And then I met Buck, and then he made Who Got the Props. And then he was being managed by Chuck Chill Out. And then Who Got the Props came out, and it, a lot different from today, that it's not like it didn't just hit the internet and go. It was like we had to get a piece of vinyl made up. We had to go to one DJ at a time. Like, you couldn't email it to someone. You had to deliver it to them. It took about, I'm gonna say 9 months for that song to really catch on. And during those 9 months is when I really developed the relationship with Buck, and I would drive him around, and I would take him and E and Five to whatever interviews we could do, or whatever we could get into. I was the person that was taking them around, and I wasn't even thinking about. I was still ready to go to law school. That's where my mind was at. I was out of college. I was interning. I'm gonna see if I like this shit, and I was getting ready to take the LSATs and try to go to law school at some point. And everything just kind of snowballed quick. And when Buck ended up, parting ways with Chuck, he wanted new management. And again, it wasn't, I know you probably are looking at me like, that's when you try to angle in. I was like 20, 22, 23. I just wasn't thinking, like, I didn't know enough. I wasn't thinking that way. So we ended up trying to set up meetings with other managers. Like we went to Bernard Alexander, who managed Nas and Redman. You brought up Redman. Like Bernard was like a known dude, and we got a meeting with him, and Buck went to the meeting, and I didn't even go into the meeting with him. Like I would go with him, but then I would stay outside. And we met with Chris Lighty. We met with Rest in Peace. We met with a bunch of people. I say we, again, I would go, but I wouldn't go into the actual meeting. And Buck came out of one of those meetings, and he was just like, you guys obviously all know Buck, but he was like, nah, we're just gonna do this ourselves. He's like, fuck this, we're just gonna do this ourselves. And he put the battery in my back of like, that we can do this. And then he introduced me to Smith & Wesson after, I don't know if he was trying to test me. I told him if we were gonna do something, we needed another group. And he introduced me to like 2 or 3 Wadatas, like they were bizarre. Like he introduced me to, and maybe that was my test, but I was like, that's not that guy, not that guy. And then finally, he introduced me to Smith & Wesson the day. You guys ever see that video I have where Tech and Steel do the intro to The Shining at the record store? They do the verses to
cover beat.
That was the first day I ever met Tech and Steel. I picked them up in my Subaru. We went to a record store in New Jersey. I had my big ass doofy camcorder, and I taped them both doing that verse. And I was just, again, all I needed was one verse from each of them. And I called Buck that night, and I was like, yo, that's the one. Those are the guys. Like, that's the one. And we, that was our first, like, saying, all right, we'll manage you guys. We didn't do any contracts or anything. We're just like, hey, do you need a manager? Like, we'll manage you. And we introduced them to Smith & Wesson, to Nervous. And we put that through that building. And over those 2 years of Enter the Stage and The Shining is kind of when we learned the business a little bit. We learned real quick we were being ripped off. We learned real quick that we weren't seeing the fruits of our labor, what have you. And then you have the era of like Master P, of Diddy, of Puff with Bad Boy, of No Limit, Loud Records. Like you start seeing all these subsidiaries come out. And that became the mind frame. Like we could have our own company too. And that's really what the birth of DuckDown was. And then you guys, right. And then to be introduced to the Fab Five, like I felt the same way on that demo tape. And I don't care if it was you two interviewing me or someone else. I'm telling you, when I heard that demo, and there were other tracks on that demo. You're not really hard to the core. There was another record, but yeah. There were other records on that demo. Remember, we put that whole demo together then, and that's what we went to go shop you guys. Like we actually had a cassette and Mighty Real was on that demo. There was like 8 songs. I wish I could find that demo because there was some.
The crazy thing is we had another manager who helped us do that demo, and then we used it
Dave, right?
To you guys.
Yeah.
Crazy. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah.
So, rest in peace to Dave. Dave passed away.
Rest in peace, Dave.
Did he die? Did Dave pass away?
Yeah,
he passed away a few years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dude, man.
Yeah, Dave was a good guy, man. But he didn't know much about.
Hi, I'm the Rockness monster. Dopest voice in hip hop ever. Yes, ever. Ladies love my voice. You know what else ladies love? Ladies love cool shirts. And we got some of the coolest shirts you ever seen in your life over here. They don't shrink, they don't wrinkle, they don't fade. The best part about it is they feel good, real good. I promise you. You put this shirt on and women are gonna hug you different. We also got matching socks and neck gaiters for whichever shirt you order. Speaking of ordering, to order go to rocknessbcc.bandcamp.com. Go there and have a blast. Knock yourself out. Rock on, rock on.
For listening to Monsta Mondayz Podcast. Please join us every Monday from 8 to 10 p.m. West Coast time and 11 to 1 a.m. East Coast time. Every single Monday, Monsta Monday on the Dash app. Also, check out these awesome shows from the rest of our podcasting family. Funny Farm, East New York Radio, All Elements Mix Show, The Star Power Collective, La Cosa Nostra Radio, 5150 Mix Show, Block News Live, Vinyl Coffee Mix Show, and Hidden Gems. Check them all out under the Delicious Vinyl radio station.